Hello, my friends. Welcome back. So in the previous few videos, we have been training up our compassionate muscles. We trained to give compassion. We also trained to receive compassion. And in the very last one we just did, in episode 18, we trained to embody compassion. So today is the day we put these muscles to use. So what are we gonna do with it? So as many of you have noticed in yourself, maybe, whenever it comes to the time when you think, okay, I plan to be sorting through things in that box, or I plan that today I'm gonna do my dishes and clear away things on the countertop. So whenever that time comes, then we start to get different waves of emotions going. And a lot of times, unfortunately, these waves, or I should say the fear of facing these waves or facing these emotions, are the number one reasons why we would just say, okay, I'm not ready today, or I have something more important to do today. So we avoid. And I'm here to want to help you to move through this so that we can unblock you, and we can help you move out of the tunnel. Okay? So we need to address our relationship with these feelings. Because if we are afraid of them, or even if we are in combat, or we are in fear of these emotions, then of course we want to run away, or we don't want to work with them. So in today's video, our number one goal is to bring compassion to these different parts of you, these different emotions you have when it comes to facing the clutter issues. So in a more interactive, more in-person kind of therapy setting, I would ask my clients what are the common feelings that will surface for them as they are in this kind of confronting, decluttering kind of situation. But since I can't ask you now, so I'm just gonna pick two common emotions that I hear from people who I work with. And feel free to pick your own or try the ones that I pick. So the first thing that I pick is overwhelm. And then the second thing that I pick, which I commonly hear, is despair. Okay? And we are gonna be letting the overwhelm speak. And then we are gonna be letting the despair speak. And then finally, we are gonna sit back to embody our compassionate self and let our compassionate self speak. Okay? So to do that, you could either bring 3 chairs for these different parts of you to sit on, or you could identify 3 spots in the room where you are, or even 3 spots on the same couch, or 3 different directions you are sitting at the same spot. Whatever is doable for you. Okay, as long as there's some distinctions between the different parts of you. Okay, so feel free to pause the video right now and go get your setup ready. And we'll be right back. Okay, so now let's settle into the first spot of your choice. So let's sit down and take a few deep breaths as you settle in. And let's try to wake up the part of you that maybe is quite familiar to you, the part of you that feels overwhelmed whenever, or almost whenever, you're about to put your hands on the sorting tasks or decision makings. So bring the part of you that feels overwhelmed up. So as we may have talked about earlier, there are so many different parts of ourselves. So today, right now, we are going to be in touch with overwhelm. Let yourself feel the overwhelm as much as possible. So let yourself feel it. How does the overwhelm feel in your body? Does it make you feel kind of on edge? Does it make you feel kind of like very tense? Like ready to jump? Restless? Let yourself feel it. It is safe to feel your emotions. Okay, let yourself feel it. And if you feel like screaming, if that's fine, you're by yourself at home, scream. Don't worry, go ahead and scream. This is too overwhelming. Go ahead, that's fine. Yeah, so let yourself feel it. Okay, so when you feel like you're in touch with the overwhelmed part of you, so see if you can see it. What I meant by it is see if there's a look, if this part of you is a living being on its own. Imagine how would this overwhelmed part of you look like? What would be this part of you's body language? Would it be kind of like closing in, shoulders up? How would this part of you be sitting down or standing up? Would it look like you? Or will it look a little bit different from you, or very different from you? So if it has an appearance that you can see, what would the overwhelm look like? See if you can picture the overwhelm. And see if you can try to listen. Listen to the overwhelm. What does it have to say? Listen. Be open to listen. We're only doing this for 2 more minutes. So take this opportunity to give it a good listen. Listen to your overwhelm. What does it want to say? Or what does it want to scream out to you? Is it like, I can't do this. This is too much. Good. There's no judgment. This is not a time to judge it. This is the time to listen to it. Let's just give it a good listen. Let it tell you whatever it wants to say. There's no right or wrong. Let's give it a good listen. Listen to it. Listen to this overwhelmed part of you. Most of the times we try to suppress it, but this is 1 minute left. Let's give it a good listen. Listen to it. Listen to it. What does the overwhelm want to say? And pay attention to how it feels in your body when the overwhelm is around. And again, there's no judgment here. All of these emotions are part of ourselves. Okay. Final words? Any final words? Overwhelm? Okay. Thank you, overwhelm. Okay. So now let's shake it up. Shake up your overwhelm. Take deep breath. Take big breath. Roll your shoulders. Shake it up. Okay. So now is a good time for you to change to a different spot to sit, or different direction to face in the same spot. Okay. All right. Whenever you are settling into the second spot, let's take a few deep breaths together. So settle into this second spot. So this time, we are going to listen to a different part of you that for some quite often shows up when it comes to making decisions about keeping or tossing something, or when it comes to the time to start the quote-unquote decluttering. Okay, so this part, some people call it despair. So let's get in touch with the part of you that doesn't believe that you can ever do this. Let's get in touch with the part of you that just feels, no, it's too much, you can never do it. I know you're gonna fail. That's what you quite commonly say to you, I imagine. I know you're gonna fail. It's gonna be like all these other times in the past. So let's get in touch with that part of you that feels despair. So again, let yourself feel it. Feel that in your body. When you are in touch with despair, how does it feel in your body? Does it make your head go down? Does it make your chest just sink? Does it make you feel like there's no strength in your body? So let yourself be in touch with despair. Yeah, I know it's so uncomfortable to be in touch with that. But again, let's give it a good listen. Okay? It's part of ourselves. It's there, whether you are listening to it or not. It's there. So let's give it some space for it to be listened to. Okay, So here your despair, what does it have to say to you? Oh, you can never do this. Oh, it's not for you. It's not for you. Or what are you gonna do after this is over? And it's not going to be over anyways. Plus, what other things do you have to do? You know what? That's the content that I often hear from my clients' despair self. We call them despair self. So give it a good listen. You don't have to agree with it. You're just listening. Okay? Let the despair speak to you. And similarly, imagine this despair is a living being by itself. What does it look like? Does it look exactly like you? Or a different version of you? Does it look like an animal? Or does it just look like some color, some shade, some abstract form? So let yourself meet this part of you. It's been there. And we need to bring it to light so that we can work with it. Okay, so give it a good listen and try to understand it. Okay, it doesn't mean you agree. We're just listening. Okay. A few more seconds to spend being here with your despair. Okay. Any last words? It's despair that want to speak to you? Okay. All right. Okay, so now shake it up again. Whew. Shake it up again. Move your body. If you want to stand up and walk around or stretch, go ahead and do that. Okay? Alright, so now finally, let's come to the third spot that you have created for yourself. And this is the spot for your compassionate self. Okay, so whenever you're ready, please sit back down and we are going to take a few deep breaths together. Okay, so let the air out, empty the lungs first. Now take a breath in. And out. One more deep breath in. And out. A third deep breath in. And out. Continue to take deep breath in and out. When you breathe in, let the air go down deep into your belly. Feel the sensations of your sitting bone, your butt touching the ground, or whatever that is that you are sitting on. When you breathe out, lengthen the out breath. Continue to let go. Continue to let go. And pause there for a second before you take another in-breath. So be with your breath. Be with the in-breath. Be with the out-breath. As you continue to do so, I would like you to invoke the part of you that is wise. That is wise in the sense that you understand suffering. You understand suffering exists. You understand it's not because you've done something wrong or anybody has done something wrong that leads you to be suffering. It's the part of you that understands, yes, there's always better things, better options. However, everybody, including you, has always been doing the best they possibly can at each given moment. So there's this wisdom, knowing your limitations. You're always trying to do the best, and you're suffering. And invoke warmth, some sort of friendliness. So this compassionate part of you is warm and friendly. And this compassionate part of you also feel a sense of responsibility, a sense of commitment and enthusiasm. This part of you wants to help you. This compassionate self recognize, oh yeah, you're suffering. I am suffering. Yes, it recognizes that suffering is happening for you. And it wants to help you. You see, it's not there to judge you. It's there recognizing, oh yes, you could have done something different or even done something better. However, you did the best you could. And you are still doing the best you can. And I'm here. I'm here to offer my wisdom, my kindness, and my strength to help you relieve suffering. Okay, so as you embody the wisdom and the commitment to help, the warmth and friendliness, and a sense of strength. So now I'm going to address to you as your compassionate self. Now I'm going to ask you a few questions, and feel free to answer out loud. So, compassionate self, do you see the suffering in your overwhelm? Do you see the suffering in how the overwhelmed part of you is experiencing? Do you see suffering there in your overwhelmed self? If you would use your wisdom, how would you discern what's been making the overwhelmed self suffer? And even, how has the overwhelmed self made you or the big family of you, different parts of you, suffer? Are you able to see that in a non-judgmental way, recognizing the suffering in the overwhelm and recognizing the mechanisms of the suffering? And besides that, are you able to see that this overwhelmed part of you is actually trying to help you in its way? Are you able to see that? Maybe this overwhelmed part of you is trying to help you in its way. So if you are able to speak to it, are you able to talk to it and say, "Overwhelm, thank you. I realize now that you've been trying to help me. Maybe you're trying to protect me. I realize now all of these very strong and seemingly intolerable emotions. Maybe these are meant to try to protect me. I realize now." And coming back to the compassionate self, are you able to let this overwhelmed part of you know, "I got you. I got this. Thank you for trying to warn me and protect me. But I think I have enough strength and wisdom. I can deal with it. I can deal with what I'm going to see when I open that box that I haven't opened in years. I got you. I know you're trying to help me, but after a few deep breaths, when I, the compassionate self, is here, I can work with this, no problem. And similarly, are you able to turn toward the despaired self as the compassionate self? Are you able to turn toward the despair that you just saw, you just had a good listen to? Are you able to see the suffering in your despair? Normally, we find that despair is such an unpleasant character, such a downer. We don't want to even know that it exists. But as you sit into and embody your compassionate self, are you able to give compassion and give some sort of friendliness? Extend that to your despair. Are you able to say to your despair, "Oh, I hear you. I know where you came from. I know where you came from. And I don't blame you." With the history that we grew up, for instance, with the things we had experienced, of course you are there. Of course you are there. I know you are suffering. Yeah, and I can also see how your suffering is like a call for help. You need reassurance. Maybe. Are you able to connect with despair from the compassionate self, from embodying compassion? And speak to your despair and let it know, "Hey, I got you. I know that you're not confident that we will succeed. Well, you may have a point based on past history, but I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna show you. Okay? And I'm not gonna promise any kind of miracle that's not realistic, but I'm gonna show you. Because I am the compassionate self, and I wasn't here most of the time, but now I'm trying to be here as a compassionate self. Now I'm trying to be here as my compassionate self, who is wise, who knows my own history, who knows what would trip me up, what will cause me trouble. I know myself, and I am here to help with that knowledge that I have. And now I know how to embody myself. I know how to use my body to ground me, to relax me. I'm here now. And whenever you guys show up. Overwhelm, fear, anxiety, despair, sadness, anger, whatever kind of difficult emotions that show up, I will practice to sit back to my compassionate self and extend my compassion to each one of these emotions. I'll give them a good listen. I'll listen to them, and then I will provide my feedback and support. And in this practice, the compassionate self will help you. In this practice, the compassionate self will help you to be less and less afraid of your own emotions, and more effective in working with them. So I hope this has helped you, and thank you. Take care.